What are the dimensions of the garden? Okay, so we have a rectangle, right? And so I know that a rectangle has a length and a width, all right? Now they already give us the area. So I'm just gonna write the area equals length times width. Now the dimensions is what I'm looking for, right? It says, what are the dimensions? So I'm looking for length times the width. I immediately have a problem. Those are two unknowns. I don't have two, like to solve, like I have to solve for two different things. So that's kind of a problem. But here's some things that I recognize here when I read that first sentence. A rectangle garden has a length that is 4 feet longer than the width. See, we're talking about the length in terms of the width. This is very important. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, all right, W is going to equal W. I don't know what that width is, right? That is our unknown. But what I do know is my length is going to be W plus 4, right? Because the length is 4 feet longer than the width. So now I can write the length and the width all in terms of the width. That is very important. The next thing that they're given is the area is 96 feet squared. So I can write area equals 96 feet squared. Okay, perfect. So now we know, remember, area equals length times width. So all I'm simply going to do here is just say 96. Well, let's write it down real quick. So I have area equals length times width. So 96, I'm going to leave off the dimensions because everything's there. So 96 is equal to a W times a W plus 4. Okay, so now I have two W's, right? So I need to get rid of these parentheses. So I'm going to apply distributive property. So 96 equals a W squared plus 4W. Okay, so immediately, ladies and gentlemen, here's where mistakes are going to happen. We have a quadratic, and students hate quadratics. You could use the quadratic formula. You can try to use factoring. You're probably going to have a calculator. I'm going to solve this, though, without a calculator. I'm just going to talk my way through it. So therefore, you can kind of see how you can approach the problem if you didn't have a calculator or you wanted to get kind of close to your answer. So whenever we have a quadratic, though, if I'm going to use factor, if I need to solve by factoring or solve using quadratic formula, I got to have my quadratic equal to 0. So the first thing I'm going to do here is subtract this 96 on both sides. So now I have this quadratic equation, which is going to give me a 0 equals a W squared plus 4W minus a 96. Now, most students have a general idea about factoring. If the number is less than 10, they probably feel pretty comfortable. But factoring a problem with 96, like, holy crap, they might just give up and say, I'm just going to do the quadratic formula and use my calculator. And you know what? I don't blame you. But let's pretend, let me just show you a way that I could do this without a calculator. Okay. Now you could think of the factors of 96, but most students realize there's a lot of factors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a factor tree. Okay. And again, this isn't necessarily everything you need to know on the GED, but I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. So I'm just going to keep on dividing by 2. Since this is even, I can divide by 2. So I have 48 divided by 2. I could do 24. Oops, what am I doing? Yeah, 24 times 2. And I could do a 12 times 2. I could do a 6 times 2. And I could do a 3 times 2 times 2. Right? Or no, 3 times 2. Yeah, 3 times 2. I don't need that extra 2. Okay, sorry about that. All right. Now, how am I going to be able to do this? Well, remember, when you're trying to factor something, the last number is going to give you the difference, or the last number is going to tell you, are you looking for a difference of the two factors or a sum of the two factors? Since this is a negative 96, I'm looking for a difference of my two factors. That is going to be 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group my factors and try to see which two are going to get together. So the first factor, you could do a 3, but I'm just going to do a 3 times 2, which is going to be a 6. Then I have to multiply these remaining. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is going to be a 16. Do 6 times 16 have a difference of 4? No. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these together then. So what about 6 times 2, which is a 12? And this would be 2 times 2 times 2, which would be an 8. So 12 times 8. Again, these are just different factors of 96. I'm just grouping them together like this. 12 times 8, do those have a difference of 4? Yes, indeed they do. So guess what? That is my factored form. Now again, one has to be positive, one has to be negative. They have to add to give me a positive 4. So therefore that's going to be a positive 12 would be my factor. So 0 equals a W plus 12 times a W, what was it, minus 8. Okay, that factors in there. Now I can apply the zero product property, which I'm losing some space here. So W plus 12 equals 0. W minus 8 is equal to 0. So W equals a negative 12. and W equals a positive 8. Now, ladies and gentlemen, does it make sense for our width to be negative? No, not at all, right? So we're not going to use that one. We're just going to use 8. So now when I look at this, guys, do you see the only answer that has an 8? It's going to be this one right here. And then again, does 8 plus 4 give you 12? Yes, indeed it does. So we can verify I didn't do anything wrong, right? And because we always want to make sure whenever we get an answer, especially when we get an answer in a word problem, does the answer make sense? Does 8 and then 8 plus 4 is 12? Like that makes sense. That follows into our logic and everything checks out. And that's how we do a problem like that. And it's really helpful to make sure you have your formulas written down, get those equations, and just go ahead and double check your work.